So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another technical webinar of the first open call by SPADE. Today, we will be presenting the Livestock case study integration, a topic that involves one challenges you can apply to. Sorry, we have, yes, now can you hear me? Okay, yes. Thank you. So to provide us with more details on these challenges, we have today Dr. Costas, and following we will have Pablo from Gradient to give us detail about the SPADE platform, and finally Philippe from Eclipse Foundation will provide open source recommendation for this open call. And remember that at the end of our presentation, we will have 15 minutes to answer participant questions. So to ask your question, we have the question and answer function in Teams. You can find a button at the top of Teams, as can you see in this screen, with a question mark icon. And when you click this panel, will appear where you can write your question, okay? So if all is clear, we will start the webinar with Dr. Costa. So if you can hear me and share your screen.
Yes, María Elena, thank you. I'll share my screen. So, thank you all for attending. This is the open call on livestock. This is a use case for the SPADE project. My name is Kostas Davarakis. I'm representing NST, who is a partner in this project. So let's start. Overall, I'll just mention a few words on SPADE. It's a contract under the Horizon Europe framework. We have the focus on employing and evaluating technologies that involve UAVs, especially catering for agriculture and environmental monitoring. We have three use cases: livestock, cropping, and forestry. And today we are having an open call on the livestock case. So the overall ecosystem, if I may say a few words before starting on the specific theme, we have different UAV formations that we will be deploying, either a single UAV or a collaborating UAVs or a swarm of UAVs equipped with edge computing devices. And the specific goals from this deployment is to detect focused risks. Especially for the livestock case, we would be focusing on grazing, an open field, and we would be championing healthcare risks evaluation due to the specific grazing environment and grazing activity. This is a first call of two. We will be addressing extensions of the already beta version SPADE livestock platform, which is being developed. The content relates to interfacing. The content of this call relates to interfacing direct livestock sensing devices, which are wearable devices on the animals, edge computing tools, which are actually elements that are airborne on the UAV. And the third issue that we would wish to interface is the airborne camera and GPS sensors, which are available, of course, on the UAV. And you would have, for that, the appropriate UAV SDK to access those two elements. I'll try to proceed with the overall perspective and the context. So to do that more vivid, what we have in front of us is a UAV, obviously, a drone which is flying over the herd. This is a testing environment that we have available within the project. It is situated in Thessaloniki. It is owned by the University of Thessaloniki, which is a partner, and actually they are the scientific experts on livestock. So what we have is a drone that overflies, tries to move around the grazing herd And apart from being equipped with standard camera GPS locator, we have mounted on the UAV edge computing device that tries to detect specific aspects of the grazing activity that would relate to the normal healthcare conditions and the status of the animals. So this is the first channel of information that we would wish to use, and the open call would require from the contractor to get a grip on the output of the edge computing device results coming from a set of machine tools that are being developed by our partner, the Institute of Data and Media Technologies of Fraunhofer. So you would be provided with a set of data coming from this channel. We have a second channel of data that comes directly from the animals. We have a set of wearable collars on the animals. On specific animals, the livestock experts call them the bell animals. So it's the animals that are leaders of the herd. So we will equip those animals with this type of collars, and the edge computing devices in this case are normal accelerators or temperature sensors or location trackers, location sensors. This is the second channel of data that you would need to interface and send this information along with what you extract from the airborne edge computing device to the cloud environment, which, as I said, is the platform that is being developed, and already we have a beta version of that. This is something familiar to you, I hope. It's the data that you have been visualizing on the formal aspects of the core. There we have three entities. The first set of tasks, it's a work package if you wish, relate to the data collection with the use of wearables, as I just mentioned before. The second one relates to the collection of data from the API that is provided on the UAV, for the UAV. And the third aspect that you would be required to implement is an integration of these data sets. And in the following set of presentation slides, I would try to put some more flesh on the deliverables and on the work packages. So we have as a first deliverable, when you started the contract, we would have an initial report that should describe the plant methodologies and the timelines, as well as key performance indicators that would be used throughout the project. This is a milestone, in fact, and it would be the kickoff point of the project. On the second milestone, which is on month 3, you would have a set of expected items that you need to cater for. The first one is definition of the module regarding the extraction and transmission of wearable sensors. You need to develop this module for extracting and transmitting the data coming from the wearable sensors to the SPADE Livestock platform. The second aspect is, again, a similar module that you would need to interface in real time with the UAV API for the extraction and transmission of data, location, and images to the SPADE Livestock platform. And this third environment is a livestock streaming platform, as we call it, and you need to develop a video live streaming server, storing data captured, data that's actually footage captured from the drone directly, and this should be transmitted to the livestock cloud platform for storing. Third milestone on mile 3, we have an interim report where we will need to report on the fulfillment of the key performance indicators that we would agree once we start the project for this midterm review. Then on month 6, which is the final project month, we would need to observe on dataset integration, which is an integrated environment, Dockerized solution, combining the two data sets coming from the wearable devices field animal sensors and the UAV data coming from images or videos from the drone. Plus, we have to add to that the data set provided by the edge computing device, tools that are already available from the, as we mentioned before, from the Fraunhofer Institute of Digital Media Technologies. And this, for example, pertains to animals detected. So we have numbers, we have bounding boxes, which are again numbers, of course, and all these should be sent to produce a homogenized data set for further analysis. And this homogenized data set will be easily then visualized on the user interface. The final report at that point would be the checklist that we have fulfilled, that you have fulfilled the KPIs that we would have agreed on milestone 1. Now, going further to more tangible issues regarding each of the 3 work packages. Let's start from the first one, data collection with the use of wearable devices. We have, of course, hardware that needs to be provided to you, and this is the set of wearables. We would have in place the wearable device that we are using at this point. It possesses sensors like accelerometers, X, Y, Z, GPS sensor, and of course, temperature sensor. The software that needs to be developed, we have to read data from the sensors and transmit them to the SPADE Livestock platform via the MQTT protocol. You can see on the bottom right-hand side of this slide the current implementation of the Livestock platform, the SPADE Livestock platform. We already have assets regarding the accelerometer and the temperature. You need to feed this platform with the actual data. Moving to the second work package, again, we have hardware that you will be receiving for the duration of 3 months. It's a UAV, the Parrot, which already has the GPS and camera, of course. And also you'll be having available the SDK that allows you to access the camera and the GPS location. Software that you need to develop interfaces in real time with Parrot for location and images and videos extraction. You need to send those data to the SPADE Livestock platform. You could use the MQTT protocol, or you have more alternative or more effectively efficient solutions. We could discuss those. Streams of the UAV camera footage to the SPADE Livestock platform will need to be implemented by utilizing a live streaming video server, which you are free to define. And again, we can, in consensus, agree on what would be the live streaming server that you would be utilizing. Now, this is more or less the second work package, and I need to mention that once you receive the Parrot, the UAV, it will be sent with the flag demo purposes to you, to the contractor, and your obligation is not to fly it. You will only use it at the lab environment to extract those data for obvious reasons, because we have to, if you wish to fly a UAV, you need to have the appropriate license to do that. So we don't expect you to go to any risks regarding damaging equipment. Third work package, datasets integration. Integration of the following datasets. 3 datasets, as I already mentioned. First one is wearable devices data coming out from the animal sensors. The second dataset is coming from the UAV, images, videos, and GPS location. And the third one is coming from the onboard airborne edge computing device, which would melt down to numbers of detected animals, boundaries, bounding boxes for each detected animal to track it on the user interface. The final integrated output, which would be a dataset, will be fed to the Livestock platform, the SPADE Livestock platform. Fed for us is a word that is interpreted by the ability to store this data set, this homogenized data set, and be able to visualize it on the SPADE Livestock platform. You will also be provided all the information regarding the interfacing with the SPADE Livestock platform, and we have a starting point, which is defined by the appropriate element that would be the way to synchronize those three data sets. Obviously, when we have flight session, you send the drone over the grazing environment to identify the position where the animals are feeding. But the only item that is continuously working is the data set that's coming from these sensors. So the timestamp that we would have as a reference that would relate to all the other timestamps is the timestamp produced by the wearable device, which is a continuous timestamp running even as we speak. This timestamp is working. So this is really the basis for synchronizing the data from the UAV and the edge computing devices algorithms. Right, so this now concludes to the practical technical coordination steps that we will be taking for making your contract a very successful one and have a mutually beneficial collaboration. We will start by the kickoff. On granting the contract, there will be a technical meeting with the SPADE technical partners that are responsible for developing the livestock pilot. All work packages, milestones, and tools will be discussed, and we will have a consensus on month 0 as you start. Then we have the provisioning of the hardware and SDK. Software solutions need to be agreed by the technical partners in written form after the first month. So for 1 month, you will have the availability to think it over, to focus, to start designing. And when that month concludes, we will have a thorough meeting to have a written form agreement and consensus. During the whole contract duration, there will be bi-weekly meetings, technical meetings, with the partners of this pilot. Apart from the contracted milestones, which is the ones that I mentioned a while ago, the partners for this task may request extra meetings and/or status presentations, including software beta versions. So we have the freedom to request from the contractor extraordinary meetings, extra meetings that are not listed in the time schedule. And this, of course, applies only in situations where we do not have the appropriate contact with the contractor. Normally, this point 4 is not being deployed apart from the case when we have problems. Finally, all other formalities are stated in the open call directives, and María Elena has been competently disseminating this information in the regulations of the open calls. So more or less, this was the presentation, hopefully consistent and complete. Thank you for attending. If you have questions that you have even after this meeting, don't hesitate to send us an email and we will come back with answers, hopefully. Thank you all. Thank you, María Elena. Back to you.
Thank you, Costas. So now we will continue with Pablo from Gradian to explain more about the SPADE platform. Costas, okay, thank you. Thank you for starting to share the screen. So, Pablo?
Okay, thank you, María Elena. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes,
okay.
We can see it.
Thank you. Well, my name is Pablo Mejuto. I'm a researcher and developer for Gradient, a research center here in Spain. And While we have many research lines active in our center, one of our main goals is to develop solutions to gather, manage, and analyze data for different use cases. We are right now quite focused on industry, on production lines, and so on factories, but we are expanding to other use cases, and we can see it here in the SPADE project. Our role in the SPADE project is the analysis, the definition, and the development of the SPADE platform core architecture. That's what I'm gonna explain now. As we have been seen in past webinars and in this one, the SPADE project is composed of a set of use cases and or pilots, the forestry, the crop, and the livestock one. Each of these pilots have their own data platforms where they gather information for their specific use cases, and they manage this information, and they maybe analyze it or use it in their own needs. The idea of the SPADE core platform is to build a tool that can be fed with data from all the use cases and manage them in a more organized and common way, or giving it a layer of a semantic layer that makes it easier to manage this information and make it available not only for each specific pilot, but also for external users if that's what it's needed. In order to gather this information from the different use cases or the different pilot platforms, we have this tool called the data broker. This tool is developed by our colleagues from Bavenir. We have Jorge here today with us. If there's any specific question regarding this block, this part of the software, we can rely on him to give a proper answer. This data broker is a software piece that allows us to gather information from the different pilots, integrates with their specific platform, whether that's a database or an API or whatever. It gathers information from that platform and sends it to our SPADE core platform in a secure way. That's what this lock icon in the diagram means. We are securing all the communication, so no leak of data is made in these communications. The data broker also allows us to not only to send data from the pilots to the platform, but also between the pilots themselves, if that's needed. This feature may be useful in situations where the data can be shared between the pilots, or when a functionality, a specific algorithm or service that's running in one of the pilots is useful for others. Regarding the platform itself, apart from the data broker that gathers information from the different use cases, we have an internal database where we can store information generated by the platform itself, not only information from the usage of the platform, but maybe errors, maybe metrics, KPIs for regarding what the performance of the platform is. We also have a set of user interfaces that we use for managing the platform itself. Of course, these interfaces are are protected with access management We have authorization of users, so no unwanted user can access the information stored in the platform. And we are also developing what we call the SPADE marketplace. That's our main focus here in the project, as a partner. This SPADE marketplace is meant to be a place where different assets can be shared between different users of the platform with different use cases, and we have two legs of this block. One of them is the services library. That's what I'm gonna explain later on this talk. And we have the digital twin platform, and I'm gonna give a brief explanation of that. It's not quite needed for the open calls, but it's interesting to have a brief description of what it is to understand to better understand the platform. As I have said, the project includes different use cases. All of them have the usage of drones in common, and our first goal in this project is to develop a digital twin platform that can replicate or represent digitally these physical assets that we have in different use cases. We are starting to model or to develop digital copies of the drones used on the different use cases, but the main idea of the platform is to be a flexible platform that can be expanded to the use of different digital twins of different assets, not only drones, but also whatever asset you have in your use case. Right now, we are using the Eclipse Basics framework for the development of these digital twins. We are using the AAS, Asset Administration Shell paradigm to develop these digital twins. We are creating templates for these digital twins that will be available on the SPADE platform digital twin catalog. Users will be able to select between these available templates and deploy an instance of a digital twin that they can connect to their specific use case, and this way they can easily have a digital twin that requires no or very few programming and development. And regarding the service library, that's more interesting for the open calls, because the idea of this feature is to serve as an aggregator or a catalog of services available on the platform, not only on the SPADE infrastructure, but also on external cloud services or in pilot infrastructure. To have this catalog of services running on this infrastructure and make it available for everyone in the platform, to create an ecosystem where everyone can share services or functionalities they have, and that may be useful for others in the ecosystem. The base of this feature is the use of the data broker as a communication pipeline that allows users not only to request the use of a service and receive a response from this service, but also it's also used as a discovery platform where services register themselves and make themselves visible to the outer world. So we can build a list or a catalog of available services running on the platform. We have this user interface that allows us to browse the list of services, get information about their how they are used, what their inputs are, how their outputs are formatted, and so on. And we have this service catalog, as I said, as an aggregator, a list of services running everywhere in the SPADE ecosystem. This is the preferred way we have identified to integrate services in the SPADE platform. So open calls should use this tool if they have they develop a solution that is used by not only one but many use cases. They have this this way to publish their service and to use it in the use cases. Regarding requirements on or what our platform is built on, and how what we are going to provide for deploying the solutions. We are focusing on the use of the Linux operating system as a base for our servers, our virtual machines. We intend to use Docker to containerize all the solutions. If more than one container is needed for a specific solution, it should be packed as a Docker Compose file, with a Docker Compose description file, with all the configuration and all the required dependencies and so on packed in this file. We are focusing on the use of general purpose hardware for the execution of the services. No specific hardware accelerators will be available, no GPUs or other hardware accelerators. If that's required for a specific use case, we have to discuss it in the with the SPADE partners, but it's not the default in the default platform. There will be no GPUs or no hardware accelerators. And finally, as you may suppose, the solutions must be well documented, including not only installation manuals, but also maintenance or usage manuals, and every documentation that may be required for their normal operation. And that's it from my part. There will be a Q&A section at the end of this talk, so thank you, and I'll be available to answer any question.
Thank you, Pablo. Philippe, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol. Thank you. You see, I improve myself every time. Okay, hi everybody. So my name is Philippe Krief. I'm Research Relations Director at the Eclipse Foundation. And we have been invited to join the SPADE project to help this project building a community around this open source platform that SPADE consortium is building.
Sorry, Philippe, you are mute. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yes, no worry.
Okay, sorry about that. Certainly touched the wrong button. So certainly most of you know the Eclipse Foundation. At least you know the Eclipse IDE when you were young students and developing in Java and other languages. Actually, Eclipse is much more than that. It's a 20 years old foundation now, and we are now based in Europe for more than 3 years. And we host more than 400 different open source projects. So, and we really have more than 20 different communities around this technology. So for us, it's very important to support this project, to sustain the code, and exactly what we are doing with in research project with our with SPADE, for example. So what does it? Okay, now I know why. I know why I turn off So SPADE decided to go open source means that, as you know, that we have different kind of licenses. A license is how you grant others to use your code. So you have a proprietary license when you limit usage to one machine, to one user, whatsoever. You can have a non-commercial license. It's you let people use your code, but they cannot make business with it. And then after that, we reach the open source list of licenses. And we have GPL, a GPL, that's when we name it strong copyleft license, which means that if you reference or you use one of the library which is under the GPL license, your code has to be also under GPL or a GPL license. After that, you have weak copyleft licenses such Eclipse, Mozilla, or LGPL, where it's a exchange. I will say that, okay, guys, you can use my code, but if you find a bug in my code or an improvement in my code, you have to give it back to the code, to the community of this project. And you have permissive license, or you can contribute back, but you're not obliged, such as Apache, BSD, MIT. I put the most popular, well-known licenses here for your information. We are more than 100 different open source licenses, which are accepted by the open source initiative. But let's say we try to concentrate on these licenses. For now, SPADE decided to go, and we recommend to use one of these licenses. So concretely, what does it mean? It means that we will build SPADE, and the core technology will be based on one of these licenses. We didn't make the choice yet, so it should be between Eclipse and BSD. It seems to be the case. And on your case, it should be also one of these licenses because they are compatible with each other. And please avoid GPL or IGPL because it creates lots of troubles. Now, also, if you have dependencies, and we had a question last time from another on another webinar, dependencies with one of the GPL or AGPL license, it will depend if you reference this library and it's mandatory or not to use it. If it's mandatory to use it, then we'll be obliged to reject this usage. If it's not mandatory but only optional, then in this case we will accept your code to be used with this GPL or AGPL license. Also, by developing a common platform, the SPADE agreed to adopt an open collaboration approach. By open collaboration means that work transparently, openly, and based on meritocracy and vendor neutrality. By transparency, what we mean? We mean that we expect that you will share your progress, your development during the development phase, not only at the end. You will not push your code just at the end, but during all the development, as you will have access to the code of SPADE, to all the open source code of SPADE openly. You will be able to, if you find an issue, you will be able to write an issue also openly against the code, and you will receive an answer. And if somebody else finds an issue before you, you will see that this issue maybe has been fixed already, and so we are progressing like that all together and not in separate tunnels without any collaboration. So it's really this aspect of open collaboration to improve your code as well, that to improve our code simultaneously. Openness, obviously, it's clear for us. It means that we accept any kind of contributor and contribution. And meritocracy, it's really more in terms of commitment, and we expect you guys to be committed in your work and participate to this project as much as possible. And vendor neutrality in this context means exactly as openness. We are totally vendor neutral because all the code will be hosted in an Eclipse infrastructure, so it's for non-profit organizations. So there is no single vendor approach here. So all the SPADE code will be hosted, and you will have there will be a special subgroup for each different selected open calls, and that so your code will be accessible like that. Nobody else but you will be able to modify this code. As nobody else but us will be able to modify the SPADE code, but everybody will have the visibility on all the code, which is very important to do. And yes, for your information, it's a GitLab infrastructure. And we have what we name it SPADE research labs there, and so the code will be hosted in this kind of infrastructure. So you need to organize your code. I recommend you to follow the GitLab good practices for doing that. Concretely, it means also that the benefits of this kind of approach, I mentioned already some of them. So your issue will be directly supported and answered by your SPADE team and publicly, and so it's good for beneficial for everybody. I will invite you also to set up continuous testing and continuous integration in your own code to verify that each time there is an update from your side, an update from our side, that your code is still running and not discovering just at the end when you will present your results that finally doesn't work because in the meantime somebody changed the API. See if the APIs have been changed and it's a big issue for you. Please come back to us and say, guys, please keep this API because I need it, I use it. It's a good way to work like that openly. At the same time, we'll analyze your code to verify that you put the correct copyright. The code that you write is yours, as I said. So license is just that you grant us and others to use your code openly. So we will verify that you put the correct copyright to maintain your own ownership, and we'll verify the license that you put also. And then for the intellectual property, we'll also parse the dependencies that you will have in your code to be sure that you have no dependency with the code which cannot be might not be create a sort of an issue with the openness of your code. Typically, as I said, you might have a dependency either with a GPL library or sometimes with a library which is under a license which is not open source. And some licenses are known to be mentioned as an open source license in the text, but in the reality it's not the case. And so we will help you identify this kind of issue. So usually we solve this problem by asking to the owner of this library to change his license. And it happens frequently that we can do that, or we will ask you to switch to another library which does almost the same job, with a license which is more appropriate. In terms of mandatory, we'll ask you to create, if you don't already have one, an account at the Eclipse Foundation. So it's on eclipse.org. It's a totally free account. And then from your profile, like that, you will have access to the GitLab infrastructure that I mentioned before. But to be able to contribute to the code, we will have to sign what we named the Eclipse Contributor Agreement. It's also named Developer Certificate of Origin. It's a document, or it's an electronic signature where you certify that the code that you are using, you are aware that it's open source, that if you work for an organization, that your organization agree that you open source this code. And if you share a code which is not yours, that the other owner of this code agreed that you share it as an open source code. So it's very simple, straightforward certificate, no surprise and nothing hidden. And we will ask you, as I mentioned before, to select what we name an industry-friendly open source license to avoid any issue later on if somebody, including you, decide to make business based on this solution, that you can use freely the components developed by others, including SPADE. That's it on my side. Like from Costas and Paulo, if you have any question, don't hesitate to contact me directly or to contact SPADE team. We'll be happy to answer to your question, and I wish you a big success with your proposals.
Thank you, Philippe. Now we have 15 minutes to receive questions from the participant. I also have shared all the important links, like for example, the YouTube channel, when you can find all the webinars recorded there, and also our support channel, email, and of course the SPADE website. So we are open to receive doubts from the participant. This is the moment. Maybe it's a lot of information for the participant today, but please, in that case, don't hesitate in sending your doubts through email. And normally we try to update a frequently asked question document every week with the questions received from the participants in case that we don't receive questions. So we don't need to update that document. But in the moment that we receive a question, we solve the question with all the consortium, and we answer the email directly to the applicant, and we share the question and the answer through the frequently asked question document. So maybe you can find doubt from another participants in that document, and sometimes that is useful to apply for this call. We have a question for Philippe. The question says, give me a second. If I am correct, in the first use case, the UAP platform was completely open source. And in this use case, we are using a commercial drone with a variable with SDK. Is this okay with your open source standard, Philippe?
Actually, we should ask maybe to Costas. I didn't realize that about this kind of commercial software. So if the code is we are not developing anything on top of the code provided commercially, we are on the safe side. If we have a now, if we have a dependency on this code, that it's a problem. So it just I need to clarify this aspect with Costas.
Okay.
What kind of extensions do we plan to just use the data provided by these drones, or do we plan to extend the code, commercial code, with some open source solution?
So to the participant, Andres Abrego, please send us an email through the support channel, and the consortium will discuss your question, and we will send you an answer as soon as possible. So don't worry.
It's a very good question.
Yes, yes, of course.
Very good question.
Yes. So don't worry, Andres, that we will take your question. So we take out all your questions, so don't worry.
María Elena, just one addition. We will include this question anyways in the document. So we will.
Yes, of course.
We'll have this. Yes. So that.
Yes, thank you, Aris.
But,
yes.
but if I may, María Elena, if I may just pop in and have a first overview of the potential answer. In fact, what we need is the data. We will not mingle with the actual software provided by Parrot and the SDK. We need the data. That's it.
Okay. So in this case, yeah, we're on the safe side in this case, sure.
Thank you, Costas and Philippe. So we are waiting for more doubt from the participant, but maybe they have all clear, or maybe they are too shy. So please, this is a great opportunity to clarify any doubt with the consortium. And remember that you can only apply for one of the challenges of the open call. So if you are planning to apply to all the challenges, you will receive a financement only for one challenge. So this is really important to clarify. Maybe in this time, Costas, if you want to summarize the challenges in 1 minute, is this possible?
Yeah, of course. I cannot always do that, as you know. I'll share my screen. Right, so let me clarify that we have been talking in this webinar over 2 different platforms. The one that you would be having to deal with is the SPADE Livestock platform, which is also presented during the description of the SPADE core platform, but it is one of the 3 pilot platforms that are being active and engaged with real-time data acquisition and edge computing activity. So the overall results that we would be expecting from the contractor that deal with the livestock pilot, in brief, comes from output of the wearable devices and organizing this output on a data set, output from the UAV and organizing the output there again on respective dataset. And finally, integrating the data coming from wearables and data coming from the UAV. Data coming from the UAV have two sub-channels. One is direct input coming from the airborne camera and GPS locator, which is using the SDK, and we only need the data there. And the second sub-channel of information comes from the output of the machine learning tools that would be airborne also on the edge computing device, a nano-JSON, right? So that's the three different channels of data that you would need to integrate, and we need to visualize them on the SPADE Livestock platform. In brief.
Thank you, Costa. Pablo, it's your turn. If you want to give any comments or advice to the participants about the SPADE platform in 1 minute, please.
Yes, as I always say, the main idea of the SPADE core platform is to build an ecosystem where data and different functionalities can be shared between users and between different pilots and between different use cases. The idea is for the platform to be flexible and expandable. So right now we are focusing on 3 different use cases, but in the future this will be able to host different use cases and gather data from different pilots and different platforms. The idea of this platform is to be expandable, and we developed it making sure that we can gather information from different sources, and that we can handle different services and integrate different solutions, not only what we are focusing on now, but maybe that we can what we can find in future proposals or challenges. So yeah, we are proposing this architecture. We are open to answer any question that may arise, not only today but in the following days. Ask anything, and we will do our best to give a proper answer.
Thank you, Pablo. Thank you. Philippe, it's your turn. Any advice, recommendations about the open source?
Yeah, I say, as I mentioned before, Eclipse is a cluster of communities, and this kind of project like SPADE is really great opportunity to build a community around agriculture, drones, and this kind of technologies. And it's really the best solution for in this area, where we can really help people with this new technology by doing open source to help these folks. So I think it's we need to go in this direction to deliver smart technology which can be really helpful for people and for in the agricultural domain. So just go for it, guys. You're on mute. You're on mute, Maria.
Yes, sorry. Thank you, Philippe. Yes, thank you for your summary. So thank you to everyone. We haven't received any double question from the participants, so maybe all is clear, or maybe they want to keep the data for the future. So thank you to everyone for being here today. This webinar will be shared through the SPADE YouTube channel. So I will share the links with everyone through social media. So thank you again, and have a great day. That is all for today. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.